Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a Sacred Union energy update. I didn't plan on doing any readings today or this week because I needed a break. The energy over the past few days was incredibly heavy, incredibly intense. It just felt, I felt like I was just fluish and feverish. It was ascension symptoms basically is what it was. When I have a lot of energy moving through me, I feel very flushed. I feel very feverish. I could feel, it's like I literally feel the energy pouring off of me. That's how I felt for the past few days. Now, underneath all of that, there was a sense of calm and a sense of inner peace. I felt good, but there was a lot of energy surrounding me. So that seems to have cleared. I woke up feeling just fresh, renewed, vibrant. So what we're going to do today is we are going to do a Sacred Union energy update and see what is going on. I did channel some messages yesterday over on Instagram and Facebook, so do make sure that you are following me on both of those platforms to get those. Because they feel like it's tied into today's energy, I am going to talk about that before we get into the actual reading. So last week for the daily energy draws, remember I pre-record all of those, and I'll be recording those either today or tomorrow for the week. So I pre-record all of those, and what we were channeling was that there was some heavier energy that was coming in at the beginning of last week. It felt like we were in the eye of the storm. It felt like there was a lot of upheaval, whether internally or you might have been experiencing that externally. It felt like there was I guess you could call it tower moments. It doesn't really feel like tower moments, but it was like a shakeup. It was like how do we call this? It just felt like you were in the eye of the storm. It just felt like there was so much chaos surrounding you, so much external energy surrounding you that even though within you might have felt centered and balanced, or like you were trying to find your peace, it's like there was so much swirling around you that you were getting caught up in it. You were almost like you were getting carried away in that tornado. That's the energy that happened Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Now, Wednesday and Thursday, there was a shift that we had channeled in those dailies where it felt like there was goddess energy that was coming in. Now, this is for divine masculine and divine feminine, because remember, you have that feminine energy within you. It felt like there was goddess energy that was coming in. It felt like there was a sense of calm, a sense of balance, and a sense of peace. And I know that I felt this within myself. I felt the priestess energy within me rise. It felt like I was full of magic. I don't know how to explain it, except that that's what it felt like. It felt like the magic, the priestess energy, the healing energy within me, the light energy within me was truly rising into, I'm hearing true nature, into my true nature. So do let me know if you guys felt that as well, but it felt really beautiful. But what came on the heels of that Friday and Saturday was just a deep-seated need for rest. So here's what I channeled. And I posted this on Instagram and Facebook as well. So what I had channeled was that there is an influx of light activations that are coming into the planet at this time. So we did feel that energy shift. We did feel the light energy come in about Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. With that came that peace. With that came that gentleness. With that came that healing energy. But you might have felt you might have felt that in your energetic body, but your physical body might have felt very heavy. For some of you guys, it might have felt like there was heightened energy and motivation. You might have wanted to take action on things. But I feel like for the majority of the collective, there was a deep-seated need for rest, a deep rest. You might have been taking more naps. You might have been called to take baths to kind of help clear your energy and ground yourself. Deep sleep that was happening, a lot of deep sleep. What they said to me is, not only is your body upgrading, allowing for more light to be welcomed into the physical vessel, but you're doing immense work in the higher dimensions, calling for a replenishment of your energy fields. This is that spiritual work that we're doing in the higher dimensions. Not only are you and your divine counterpart in union working together to help heal and lift the vibrations in the higher dimensions, from the energetic work, energy-wise, but there's you're healing. You're healing the collective as far as helping to awaken the masses. You're doing immense work. They're telling me spiritual warfare. You're doing immense work when it comes to the divide, to bridge the divide, to heal the separation. And that's new. I hadn't channeled that before, so that's interesting. For some, there have been tears in your energy fields that are being repaired at this time. That are being repaired during your sleep cycle. You can call on your spirit team for assistance with this, is what they said. They also said that dream state is heightened. Telepathy is prominent, particularly between counterparts. Deep healing is emphasized, but there's a much more balanced and calm feeling with this deep healing, especially for divine feminines. The way to help ground yourself and heal this, you can take Epsom salt baths to nourish your physical body. Hydrate. Hydration is crucial at this time. Make sure that you're drinking lots of water, fresh water. They mentioned eating balanced meals according to the chakra centers. For example, apples, red apples for the base chakra, oranges for the sacral chakra, fresh greens for the heart chakra, things like that. They said spend some time outdoors to connect with nature. Make sure you're grounding your energies. Earth, Mother Gaia, is a great transmuter. She's able to transmute any negative energy. So really call upon her and ground yourself, walking barefoot, even just putting your hands on the ground, putting your hands on trees, doing gardening, something like that. It helps when you're mindful, when you set that focused intention, it helps to ground your energies and allow you back into your physical vessel, because we can get too caught up in the energetics. But we're experiencing humanity. We're experiencing the human experience. So it's really important to ground yourself and clear your energy fields of any negative attachments, any negative vibrations. Really bring yourself back to your true spiritual human nature. We talked about that in the daily energy draws last week as well. If you missed any of those dailies, do make sure that you check that out. They also said to connect to your own central wisdom and higher heart, and remember that you are deeply, deeply loved. And 1 second, I have to let my dog out. Okay, so with that being said, I did channel energies for divine feminines and divine masculines that I'm going to look into as well here. Okay, I'm going to start with divine feminines. So divine feminines, you might be receiving clarity either in the 3D or the 5D regarding your connection. In the 5D, it could be dreams, it could be downloads, music, it could be in meditation, visions, whatever it is, however it is that you receive guidance and clarity from your higher self, your counterpart's higher self, or your spirit team that's coming in at this time. You're receiving clarity. In the 3D, it might come in the form of signs, synchronicities. You might be seeing something on their social media. You might be receiving clarity from friends or family, or from your divine counterpart themselves. So there is clarity that is coming in. There is illumination that is happening for this connection. Tune into your heart space and use discernment to see further beneath the veil, because remember, especially if you're receiving information and clarity in the 3D, remember that there is more beneath the surface than what you're physically seeing or what you're physically understanding in the 3D. There's more happening energetically, so use your discernment and see beneath the veil. Always connect to that love. Yeah, that's what they said. The physical world is the current reality, but love is truth. Divine feminines, you might be affirming necessary boundaries at this time. You might be, especially with your divine counterpart, but this has to go with other people in your life, friends, family, coworkers, whatever it is. But the thing about this is you're learning to do so with an unguarded and compassionate heart. So even though you are affirming your boundaries, it's coming from a place of self-love. And because it's coming from a place of self-love, you're affirming those boundaries with compassion to the other party, whoever that might be. You're beginning to integrate what you've consciously known, that where there is love, separation is merely an illusion. Union energy is strong at this time. Divine masculines, you might be going within into that hermit energy, is what they're showing me, on a deep level as you experience tower moment after tower moment after tower moment to unveil once hidden trauma. And this, they're calling me back to the dailies from last week. Really important, those dailies. um, that's the storm, where it felt like you might be in the middle of it and everything was swirling around you and an upheaval around you, and it's kind of knocked you off your course. It's felt like it's knocked you through a loop, and that energy, that tornado, that whirlwind energy feels like it's taking you along with you and you're out of control. That is on purpose. Spirit is saying it's on purpose that you feel out of control, because it's showing you that you are not in control. Not from an egoic standpoint, yes, from the soul perspective, but what's happening is you're dissolving the ego, which likes to pretend that it's in control, and it is not. The divine is in control, and you being one with the divine means that you are in control, but not from the manipulative, distorted standpoint of the ego, which was distorted masculine energy. So you might have been thrown off course, but it's to bring you to your knees, is what they said. The universe is bringing you to your knees for you to make a choice. You can repeat the old cycles, you can repeat your old ways of doing things, or you can evolve. Honesty with yourself is essential for this healing. You are safe to express yourself to yourself, to be honest with yourself, as your spirit team is encasing you in protective light to help you embody your authentic self and shed any layers your ego has been clinging to. Go within to feel the love that surrounds you from others, from your counterpart, from your spirit team, and from your higher self. Now, here's what's interesting. I got another download this morning, and what they said was that, yes, the divine masculines are being brought to their knees. They're being brought to their knees to see themselves, and it's because they're exhausting themselves. It's almost like they're getting sick of their own shit, so to speak. They're getting tired of the old ways of doing things, and their ego is fighting and trying to take control and say, let's keep doing this, this is what works, this protects us, this is our survival mode. But divine masculines are starting to realize and understand that it's not working. It's not working, that's just ego and that's not soul, and their soul is calling for them to do things a different way. Their soul is calling for them to listen to their heart, to listen to their soul, to listen to their connection to the divine. And divine masculines are at the point of exhaustion. Divine feminines, you've been here where you have just felt exhausted and defeated, and that, Spirit is saying, is what is called surrender. And it is a process. It's a process that divine feminines, you had been repeating over and over and over until you reach that point of utter surrender, rising into your divine feminine energy. That's what's happening for divine masculines at this time. They are reaching the point of surrender because of their exhaustion, because they are trying to do things the same way, but they're getting tired of themselves. They're getting sick of their old self. They're looking back on their past and they're saying, I can't believe I've spent the past 10, 20, 30, 40 years with this energy, within this vibration, with this toxicity, with this belief, with this pattern, with this relationship, whatever it was. They are getting tired of it, and they're seeing through this connection, through this ascension journey, that there is a different way of being, a different way of living their life. They had just been, because ego was kind of resisting and holding them back, they were in that mode of resistance. They've just been afraid to move forward, afraid to move out of that comfort zone of what they knew. But they're understanding that there is a different way of being. There is a higher way of being, a higher level of being, and that's tapping into their heart self. But they had guarded their heart so much. They had closed that off. They had closed off their emotions out of that fear, out of that self-preservation mode. And now what this journey is teaching them is to open back up, and that there is a different way of being. So there's something else that I want to mention, because Spirit is calling me to. When was it? Friday night. I woke up at 3:20 in the morning with a start, because I remember looking at the clock. And it was like I received a Facebook message from my divine masculine. It said, this person has sent you an attachment. And that's what, comes through when he sends me music and stuff. And he sent me, and it was in his language. He has a very distinct way of communicating. He sent me 2 messages. The second message was very interesting, and that's what I'm called to share. And what they said was, and it woke me up with a start. It was pure telepathy, because it woke me up. There was no dream around it. It was just the messages came in, and it woke me up with a start, and I knew I mean, it was without a doubt, it was him, whether he's conscious of it or not. And they used his name, or he used his name in this message, but I'm going to insert Divine Masculine here. This is the message. It says, when Divine Masculine invites in all, in capital letters, all are invited in. And I'm going to post that on my Instagram and on Facebook, because what I was just told was there's light codes embedded in that. So when we invite in all, the capital all, source energy, connection, the all, the I am, all are invited in. And I'm going to let you guys, I'm being called, I know what that means for me. I know what that means for my Divine Masculine and our connection. I'm going to let you guys, I'm being called to let you guys intuit that for yourself, because there are light codes in there. So do make sure that you check out Instagram and Facebook. The links are in the description box below. I will post that as soon as I'm done with this reading, because that just came in, that I was called to, that there are light codes embedded in that, and for you guys to intuit and get what you need out of that. Okay, so a lot of energy, a lot of shifts and changes that are coming in. So we're going to take a look and see what's going on for these divine counterparts. So let's get some messages, Spirit, and see what's happening for these divine counterparts. What's the current energies for these divine counterparts? We are going to have an Ascension Energies update this week, because I want to see what's going on globally with these mass awakenings, with this mass ascension. People are starting to embark on the ascension journey, and what I'm also hearing is there are some that are starting to embark on the divine counterpart, sacred partner path to ascension as well. So it's like a new wave is coming in, they're saying. So that's really interesting. If you are new to the sacred partner, sacred union, twin flame journey, my readings are timeless. Go back through the playlist and see what might resonate with you by the titles, or even the description boxes if there's something in the description. Do go back and see what might be calling to you. Listen to your intuition, because, you know, I share my journey to help others along theirs. That's called resonance. That's how we relate to one another, by sharing pieces of ourselves, sharing our journey. So some of those messages might resonate with you guys if you're new to the journey, or even if you're not. Again, it's timeless. I've been called to go back and listen to readings that are resonating now from last summer. Time is fluid. It's an illusion. It's non-linear. It's really important to remember. So things from last summer might be resonating now. It doesn't mean that, it could mean that I channeled ahead. It could mean that it's just some piece of that reading is resonating with you in your journey now. Everybody's path, as much as we're collective, everybody's path is unique and different. Also, just on a personal note, I am going to be closed to readings, personal readings, April 27th through May 3rd. So I do have some open time slots this week, so make sure that you get your bookings in now. Also, if you email me, I always make it a point to reply with personal emails, to reply personally, I should say. Especially if you're trying to book a reading and I don't get back to you within 3 days, check your spam folder, because I always like to respond within 3 business days. So do make sure that you're checking your spam folder and adding me to your address book, so that I am able to respond to you, because there have been a couple of you guys who have reached out to me saying that you tried to book last month and you haven't responded. I did respond. So do make sure that you're checking your spam folder. I always respond to emails. It might be a little bit delayed, but I always do respond personally to emails. Okay. You can always reach out to me on Facebook and on Instagram as well, just to confirm that I received your email. If you do want to book with me, SusanDawnSpiritual.com. I have a number of offerings, services, price points that you can check out there. Okay, cool. Spirit, what's going on for these sacred partners? Let's just get a spread and see. We'll just pick up on the energies. I'm not going to do Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine. We'll just see whatever comes through. Spirit, what do you want us to know? What do you want us to know? Patreon subscribers, I will have another pick-a-pile. Feel free to let me know what it is that you want to see for the pick-a-pile for you. Ooh, we have the Queen of Swords here. Okay. get some more before I start talking, before I start channeling. Okay. High Priestess at the bottom of the deck here. I feel like there's communication that is wanting to come in. This feels like Divine Masculine energy. I feel like, we're going to start here with the Three of Pentacles. I feel like they have their nose to the grindstone, kind of pulled back, working on themselves. We had channeled this in the romance reading for Patreon subscribers, where it feels like, and it looks like to Divine Feminine, that they might be not taking action. They might be looking a little bit, for some it might be like they're looking lazy, like they're not doing anything with themselves, with their lives. It might look like their life is a chaotic mess. It might look very unattractive to you. Your Divine Masculine might feel unattractive to you. And for that reason, Divine Feminine, I feel like you're pulling back and detaching. There's a reason for that detachment. It's protecting your own energy so that Divine Masculine can rise into their energy. Because if you're continuing to do all the healing work for them, they're not learning or having the capacity to do it for themselves, and their soul is really wanting to do that work. Their ego mind does not want to do it. Their ego mind does not want to face it. But their soul, energetically, their higher self, is doing the deep healing work. And that's what's happening beneath the surface. So in the 3D, it might look like nothing's happening. It might look like there's no forward motion that's happening. But they do have their nose to the grindstone, so to speak. They are focused very heavily on themselves at this time. Their connection with you is in the back of their mind. But it's because they're doing deep level healing. Remember, we channeled that they are facing what was once veiled trauma. They're facing themselves, and they're learning to face themselves with honesty, to look at themselves authentically, to look at themselves in the mirror. And here's what's interesting, what's coming through. This came through last night in a meditation. It's a mirror exercise. Louise Hay from Hay House, I read this a very long time ago, and it came to me in meditation yesterday, and I feel like this is what Divine Masculines are learning to do. She once talked about doing a mirror exercise with a physical mirror. A lot of the times we're afraid to face ourselves, our shadow aspects, to really look at ourselves in the mirror. Because when you look at yourself in the mirror, it's very easy to see your flaws in a physical mirror, to see your physical being. You say, oh, I have so many gray hairs, or I have dark circles under my eyes, or, you I'm not going to get into all the flaws or anything like that because I don't want to trigger anybody, but you look at where you're less than perfect. You're not looking at yourself through the lens of love, where you are divine, where you are perfect. We all have flaws. We all have shadow sides. But you integrate that to show yourself that your imperfections are beautiful as well. And so with the mirror exercise, what they were showing me is sometimes we don't want to face ourselves. Sometimes we don't want to look at ourselves in the mirror physically or energetically. Because of past heartbreak, because of past trauma, because of past wounding, because of past actions or behaviors or beliefs, it's hard to face ourselves. That's the shadow aspects. But what they told me was taking that exercise and looking at yourself physically in the mirror, not a cursory glance, but actually taking the time to physically look at yourself in the mirror, eye to eye. Look yourself in the eye and have that ability to see through the lens of love. 5 minutes is what they're saying to me now. 5 minutes. Give yourself 5 minutes to look yourself in the eye in the mirror. And after your ego gets over all of that, the physicalness, all the imperfections, all the shadows, look at yourself and see the true light within you. Look at yourself and see the true love within you. That is your soul that is speaking to you. And that is you facing yourself soul to soul. A lot of these divine masculines have been afraid to face their soul. They've been afraid to see their own light. They've been afraid to see the love within themselves because they've been so caught up in the ego. They've been so caught up in that they weren't worthy or they weren't valued or They were, whatever it was, whatever the past trauma was, they've been so caught up in seeing that all of their lives that they haven't seen the divinity within them. And that's what they're called to do now. They're called to be honest with themselves. Not just honest with themselves as far as the imperfection, so to speak, but honest with themselves as far as seeing their true, authentic self. Seeing the love that they are. Seeing themselves through the eyes of compassion. Seeing themselves as the light that they are. Now, this is not the egoic light, where they are, in essence, this peacock, where they are full of false pride and ego and arrogance. This is the true divinity. This is the true light within themselves. And to get to that true light, to get to that true divinity, they are going to have to face that trauma. They are going to have to face their past actions and behaviors and beliefs and patterns and wounding and healing. They have to heal that. In order to get to that divinity, they're going to have to go through the shadow to see the light, to integrate the shadow and the light within them. And that's going to be very hard, but it starts with honesty. Honesty is essential. And I feel like with this King of Wands, it's interesting that we're kind of going backwards here. I feel like with this King of Wands, they are doing that, wanting to do that. Because again, it's like they're getting sick of their shit. They're getting sick of only seeing themselves as a burden or as a pain in the ass or as someone who is less than or not worthy of, or someone who is toxic to themselves. They're sick of that. They know that they're more than that. There is something inside of themselves, inside of their soul, that is calling them to say that they are more than that. And they're wanting to move on to these calmer waters. They're wanting to move on to the best and highest version of themselves. And what's interesting, this card came out first, and this is what I was getting. They're wanting to speak their truth and be true to themselves. With the peacock here, they're wanting to let their pride go. When this card came out, what I was getting was they're wanting to be authentic to themselves, but their pride is getting in the way. It's interesting that we're moving backwards here with these cards in this energy, because it's like they do have to move backwards. They do have to look at their past. They do have to bring that up to the surface. They do have to acknowledge that and let go of their pride in order to face themselves and heal themselves and bring themselves forward back to the light if they want this partnership. This Three of Pentacles being one of partnership and collaboration. They don't have to do this on their own, and that's the next message that's coming in. As they face themselves and as they heal, remember we said Divine Feminine is kind of detaching their energy? It's so that Divine Masculines aren't clinging to your light, aren't clinging to your energy. And so that they can understand that they have that power to rise on their own to essentially help themselves and save themselves. But just like you know that there's no separation between the two of you, Divine Feminines, just as you were integrating that separation is merely an illusion, just that you are coming into union with yourself, which means you are coming into union energetically with your Divine Masculine, because you are one in the same, that same soul song. Just as you and that was in a daily, that reminded me as well, you sing the same soul song, but sometimes it's out of tune. That's where you're not on the same frequency. And what union is all about is singing the same notes, singing the same song in harmony. But when you're out of harmony, when you're in separation, you're just out of tune. So what's happening is, as you come into that union within yourself, energetically, you're coming into union with your divine counterpart. And so what's happening here is you might be detaching a little bit so that, and protecting your energy, call upon your spirit team and say, please protect my energy from my divine counterpart. Doesn't mean that you're not showing compassion to them. It doesn't mean that you're not loving them. The energy is still there, but their energy, whatever it is that they're going through, will not penetrate to you to affect your vibration, because you must maintain that high vibration. You must maintain that light. You are being called to rise, Divine Feminines, and you must maintain that in order to help this sacred union or to help your divine counterpart. But you don't have to do the active healing. You don't have to do the meditations. You don't have to be checking in on them all the time anymore. That is of the past. Now Divine Masculines are being called to rise, to help themselves, to save themselves. But they are still understanding that your love is still a guiding light for them. You are still helping them through the love that they are still feeling. Remember, when you're detaching, you're not calling back your love from them. They're still feeling that love. You're just detaching from the heaviness, the vibration that your divine masculine is in, so that you're not letting that drag you down. So what's happening is divine masculine, as you maintain your sense of balance and peace, as divine masculine is going through, it's almost like they're going into like deep within that inner spiral. Because remember, ascension, even though you're rising vibrations, you're going deep within. You're actually descending into the heart and the soul of yourself, going deep within in order to rise, in order to ascend. Divine masculine is going through that at this moment. They're going through a deep ascension. And as that is happening, there is a call for them to surrender. And what they're actually doing is they're surrendering to their soul. They're surrendering to their own light and learning about themselves, learning about their light, seeing their own light, seeing their true self. Any emotion that was suppressed, any sexual energy that was suppressed, because sexual energy is just that creative life force. Any place where they themselves were not able to express themselves, that's their divine feminine energy within them. Anywhere where they were not honest with themselves, where they were holding on to that egoic structure, they were surrendering that. And so moving forward, they might be calling on you either in the physical or energetically to help to guide them. And you are guiding them, divine feminines. So if they call upon you to help to guide them, that's where you affirm your boundaries. If it feels like the old egoic structure is still in place, then you can uphold your boundaries and say, I'm not able to, I love you and I respect you and I'm here for you, but I'm not able to be in physical proximity with you at this moment. But if it feels like they are approaching you in the physical with intention of that honesty and that authenticity and that vulnerability, that communication, then that is where you can continue to assist and be there for your divine masculine through your compassion and through your love. But that's where you uphold your boundaries. This could be energetic as well. Detachment doesn't mean completely withdrawing. Detachment means boundaries for yourself. Detachment means not allowing any lower vibrational energy to penetrate the balance and the peace within that you have come to know, that is part of you now. Divine feminines, you are anchored into that peace. You are anchored into that calmness. So there's a lot of healing that's happening, and you're doing it together, whether in the physical or in the energetic realm. So allow your journey to unfold. A couple of weeks ago, maybe even a couple months ago, what they had channeled and what I had shared on this channel here was that it's a time for healing, not of relationship. And that's really important. I know, divine feminines, we all want that relationship, that commitment, that happily ever after, that family with our divine masculines. This is a time of great healing. And understand that the more you understand that and you let go of the relationship part of it, because that's going to come. You don't have to worry about that. Allow that to unfold. Allow that to be what it is. You will have the relationship that you want, whether it's with your divine masculine or whether it is with a soulmate who comes in and you know, if you're ready for that, whatever it is that you want, whatever it is that you're manifesting, allow that to unfold. Let that go. And if there's any fear there, if there's any trigger there, then allow yourself to continue healing that. Because love is meant to be open and free. There should be a free flow. There should not be fear. And the free flow of love does not mean that you're not going to have commitment, does not mean that you're not going to have a monogamous relationship. Freedom in love just means allowing love to flow and unfold freely. Give and receive, and give and receive, and give and receive. We've channeled this a lot. It's the infinity symbol. There is no end. There is no beginning. It is just a free flow of love. That is freedom in love. Allow it to unfold. Allow it to be. It will come. It will be here. It already is here. Affirm that it already is here. But understand that there is massive healing that is happening right now, especially with your divine masculine. And I'm hearing they are trying. They are working on this very hard for you because you are a part of them. And so even if you don't see them investing in your connection or in this relationship right now in the physical, understand that because they are facing themselves and rising into their authenticity, because they are trying to speak their truth and let go of their pride, let go of their ego, because they too want to move into a lifetime of more harmony and peace and balance for themselves, they are in fact investing in you and this connection. You might not see it. It might not look like, oh, they're not investing in me or making the effort as far as whatever it is your love language is. They might not be speaking to you. They might not be offering, dates or commitment or whatever it is in the physical that we think a relationship could look like. Let go of that paradigm. Let go of that. This is connection. This is true love. This is true relationship. Let go of all the old 3D stuff that you thought you knew. Yes, that's all fun. That's all part of the human experience. But this is a healing connection. Allow it to heal first. Before you have all that fun stuff, before you have all the adventure and the dates and the sex and all that stuff, allow your connection to heal. Allow your connection to be, because the more it heals, the more you rise in that love, and the more you can manifest all that other fun stuff, all that other relationship stuff. But this is first and foremost healing. So allow it to heal. And your divine masculine is investing in you and this connection by investing in themselves and this healing journey, because they are going deep, deep, deep within. They are going within because they want that peace for their life. They want that peace and harmony for this connection. They want to be able to take action. They want to work in partnership with you. Okay. They just pulled back from these cards, so I feel like everything that we need to channel from these cards is there. So let's see. Let me see what time. Okay. So let's see if there's anything else we need to know. Wow. Yeah. Yes. 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 Whew. Yes. Did I say yes? Yes. The world. This is twofold. Look how beautiful that card is. I love this deck. This is the closing out of the cycle, the closing out of a chapter to begin anew, and look at all that energy in the new. This is what divine masculine is fighting for. They are fighting to become the emperor. They are letting go of the distorted masculine energy, which the emperor can sometimes be. They can be cold. They can be calculating. They can be manipulative. They can be in that distorted control kind of energy. Divine masculine, the true emperor, is a leader. They lead from a place of logic while also integrating the heart. That is the emphasis of a true king. Understanding logically and practically, but also listening to their intuition, leading from the heart space, trusting in the heart space, not controlling everything because that is ego, but letting their logic and their heart space, which is integrated energy because it's integrating the divine feminine and divine masculine energy within them, to lead them. That's where they're understanding that they're letting go of the control. They're letting go of their past. They're letting go of the illusion. They're rising into this role where they take action for their lives. And with this world card, which is just, it's beautiful. They're pointing me to the 4 elements here on the corners of the card. We have, it looks like an angel, but they're giving me divine feminine energy here. We have the Hawkeye view, the wisdom of the eagle. We have the strength of the lion, and we have the action of the bull. This is that divine masculine energy, how they're learning to integrate all the energy into themselves, into one, to move forward into more harmony and more balance, take control of their lives. A lot of divine masculines were just lackadaisical, for lack of a better word, nonchalant with regards to their lives. They're like, oh, whatever happens, happens. It's up to the universe. It's up to my partner. If they were in another relationship, if they were in a marriage, it's up to my partner. It's up to my parents. It's up to my child. I'll just let the world do what it does, and I don't have any control. This is them understanding that it's like magician energy. This is them understanding that they have control over their own world. And as such, they can close out that past cycle of their life and move forward into a brand new chapter. Look at all this energy in this card. Do you see all that energy in this card? How they are just embracing their life? taking control of their life as the emperor, they are learning that they are more in control, not from manipulation, not from that distorted energy, but they are more in control than they were ever led to believe. And as such, remember when he said they're getting sick of their shit? As such, they are rising to take control of themselves and their life. This means change. This means changing patterns. This means healing addictions. This means changing beliefs, rising in their beliefs, evolving in their beliefs. This means even changing their physical life if that is what it's called for. This is a brand new cycle, the beginning and the end. The end of one part of their life, the beginning of a brand new chapter. And their soul is calling for them to do this. The universe has them on their knees to say you can repeat or you can evolve. Repeat or evolve. And divine masculines are exhausted. They do not want to repeat the struggles of the past. So they are being called to evolve. Now, will there be some who repeat the past? Yes. Because of that resistance, because of some stubborn energy. But for the majority, and if that does not resonate with you, it's not meant for you. Do not let that trigger you. I'm reading for a collective here. I'm reading for a large majority of you guys. The majority of you guys, like 99% of you, the divine masculine is understanding that they are being called to evolve, and they will evolve. Okay, let's see if there's anything else. Yeah. A little bit of conflict within themselves, a little bit of conflict within their outside world, but as they move through this, as they move through that conflict within themselves, they reach celebration. 3 of Cups, I need to reiterate, is never third-party situation for me, ever. This is, unless it's third-party in a joyful situation, as in socializing. This is union energy for me. The 3 of Cups is always my union card. It is Trinity energy, divine masculine, divine feminine, and the divine itself. The merging of the 3 energies. And look how it's in toast here. Look how their cups are up in toast. The merging of these energies. It's, I don't usually read for third parties as far as karmic situations, just because I'm not called to. Because third party doesn't have to be a relationship. Third party can be a situation. It can be a belief. It could be a pattern. It could be an addiction. Third party can be anything. So I do read for third parties. I wanna take that back. I do read for third parties, but it's not just a karmic relationship. Don't put the focus on the karmic relationship. Put the focus on yourself and on your connection, and help to heal whatever third-party situation is happening. Come to a place of gratitude. And I don't know who I'm saying this for. This might be a specific message, because I certainly don't have this in my, usually in my collective or in my own connection. But if there is a karmic relationship that your divine counterpart is a part of, if you're looking at that person as the enemy and not looking at that person with a sense of gratitude and appreciation, then there's some healing that you need to do. There's some work that you need to do. Because no matter what, that person is helping your person, your counterpart, to heal, to grow, and to evolve. And now they might be part of their past, but even karmic relationships, there's a purpose. There's a reason for that. They show your divine counterpart something to heal something. So I'm going to point you guys, I'm going to put this in the description box below. I've written out my own take on karmic relationships versus soulmates versus divine counterparts. Every relationship teaches us something, even karmic connections. So have a sense of gratitude. Have a sense of compassion. Have that love in your heart. Because if you don't have that love in your heart for all, then you're still working on your ascension. You're still working on your own self-love and love for all. Because there's something that connection is showing you within yourself that you need to heal as well. Okay? So if you want to talk about that, feel free to shoot me an email or leave a comment in the comment box below if you want more clarity on that. But I do have, because I don't put the focus on karmic connections, because the focus should be on your sacred union and not on any other relationship that your partner might have with another person. So that, I feel like that's a specific message for somebody. Again, it's very interesting. I was called to that because I don't usually talk about that in my collective, because that's usually not a problem in my collective. So take it as it's resonating for you. Okay. 3 of Cups is joy. It is positivity. It is celebration. It is my union energy card. So what I feel like is, as your Divine Masculine is working through this, as your Divine Masculine is healing this, they are resolving this conflict within and without with the celebration in mind. This is what they are thinking about. This is almost like what they are daydreaming about and fantasizing about. They are wanting this union energy with you. They are wanting this joy, this celebration. This hasn't feeling of 10 of Cups, 10 of Pentacles energy about this card. This is what they're moving on from. This 6 of Swords energy here. They're moving on from the conflict of the past and moving towards this celebration, this harmony, this peace, this union energy. Cool. All right. I feel like there's something else, so let me see if there's anything else. Yeah, transformation. They are, so with that, hold on. There it is. Okay. I knew there was something. Okay, so we got another layer here. We have the Hanged Man, we have Death, we have the 6 of Pentacles, and we have the 2 of Cups. That's ending the reading here. This is confirmation that your Divine Masculine is going through an evolution. They're going through ascension. They are transforming, putting an end to the stagnation, putting an end to this, they're giving me the word volatile nature. Now, this could be volatile nature within themselves, where there was self-loathing, where they were in self-destructive mode, and volatile nature of the world around them. Just so much conflict. But remember, it's conflict within themselves that creates a conflict without. The more they come into this place of peace, the more they work through their healing, the more they're going to get out of this stagnant energy and be able to transform. The more they're able to create balance within themselves, within their connection, within their finances, within their relationships, within this connection here, within their life. And the more they're going to come into balance and this harmony with this 2 of Cups in the sacred union. What I love about this, where is this? What I love about this card here, this 2 of Cups, is look at the embracing of hands. Look at the energy that's rising from these cups. This is that self-love. This is, in a nutshell, what your Divine Masculine is learning at this time, what they're healing at this time. They are healing anywhere within themselves where they did not love themselves, where they did not feel loved. And that can show up in a number of different ways. It can show up as toxicity and unhealthy behaviors in their relationships, in their life. It could show up as addictions. It could show up as ego. It could show up as arrogance. It can show up as control. As far as wounding, it can show up as rejection, abandonment, where they felt neglected, where they felt abandoned, where they felt rejected. And they internalized all of that to a place where they didn't feel like they were worthy of love, where they were not seeing their own golden heart, is what I'm hearing. But now what's happening is they're healing that. They're facing themselves. They're looking in the mirror at themselves. And they're being honest with themselves. Not only about the shadow aspects of themselves and their past, but about who they are and who they want to be and what they want for their life. Who do they want to become and who are they truly? And who is Divine Masculine but love? Who is Divine Masculine but life and light and divinity themselves? They are starting to understand this through their self-love, through going deep within and doing the healing work. And the result of that is this beautiful union. This is sacred union within themselves, feeling whole finally within themselves. I'm hearing, I've felt so empty all of my life. And when I met you, Divine Feminine, that scared me because I finally felt something within myself. I finally felt like I could be whole within myself. It's because Divine Feminine, it's your feminine energy that they're recognizing and remembering within themselves. Because for Divine Masculines, the feminine energy within them is you, Divine Feminine. Divine Feminine, the masculine energy within you is your Divine Masculine. That is that one soul song. And so they're wanting to feel whole. They had been filling up that emptiness with drugs or alcohol or sex or relationships or anywhere where they were clinging to something. They had codependency issues on children or on family or on relationships or on anything toxic, anything that was unhealthy, that they knew was unhealthy, but it was a form of escape. And so what's happening is they're understanding that their wholeness comes from within. And they're being honest with themselves and facing themselves to understand that and to allow themselves to feel the love for themselves again. And what's coming in for them is union within themselves. And as they rise in union within themselves, as you rise in union within yourself, what happens is you join together in this sacred union, in this Two of Cups energy. This reading is amazing. I am floored. I'm floored. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to end the reading with a message from your divine counterpart. It looks like this is, I'm going to label this a divine masculine reading because that's what we're talking about here. But you guys, if I label something divine masculine, divine feminine, or sacred union, whatever it is I label, even if I label the video ascension energy update, understand that that is all merged together. You know, I'm just labeling it just for the label. We talk about divine feminine in the divine masculine reading. We talk about divine masculine in divine feminine reading. We talk about sacred partners in the ascension energy updates because that is a path you are on. You're on the sacred union path of ascension with your divine counterpart. There are a number of different ways to ascend. For my collective here, it's those who chose the sacred union path. And not consciously, but like when you were on the other side, all that good stuff, you know. So do make sure that you are watching all the videos because there's messages. There are messages and everything for each of you to hear. So don't just go by the titles. Don't just go by, you know, what I title it. There's messages. Okay, so let's get a message from your divine counterpart to you. This is my oh my gosh, what did I call this? My Conversations with Counterpart deck. It's available on Etsy. I just ordered some more in, so they should be available to ship out soon if you want to place an order for those. I have 2 different volumes here. This is volume 2. So let's see, what does your divine counterpart want to say to you? I can't remember my life before this love. This journey has changed them. Remember when I said that they were getting sick of their own shit? They had been comfortable in that cycle. And so they were repeating it over and over and over again because it was like protection. It was what they knew. It was comfort zone. But meeting you shook them up. It scared the shit out of them. Truthfully, it did. And you too, divine feminine. You know, you may have been more consciously aware of this connection and understanding what was going on with this connection. But it scared you too because you had to face your shadows. You had to do deep-seated healing as well. For divine masculines, they kept repeating the same cycle, being called to evolve and resisting that evolution, resisting this love, resisting the expansion that comes from this love. And so they were caught in a cycle of repetition. They were caught in a cycle of repeating their own history. But they're at a point now where it's like they're feeling the door firmly shutting on their past because they are being called to ascend, because they are being called to rise. And it's like as soon as they go through that evolution, they're not going to remember what it was like pre-transformation. So I'll give myself as an example. It's very in divine feminine. You might be feeling this. You carry all of your experiences with you. You know, you carry the memory of that, but the emotional attachment is gone. For example, I know I went through hell of Lyme disease and multiple co-infections. I know I went through immense suffering with that illness. But it feels like that's another person. It feels, because I've gone through this healing of that trauma, because I've gone through this healing of ascension, this transformation, that feels like a different person to me. That feels like it's firmly in the past. It's like I can't remember, thankfully, what that was like. I carry through the lessons, I carry through the experience, I carry through the love and how I've grown from that. But the attachment to that pain, the attachment to that suffering, the attachment to that whatever it was, to that history is gone. That emotion is gone. That trauma has left. It's gone. And I never felt that so distinctly as when I had to sit before a judge again and be judged. When I was fighting for disability, which I won, thank you very much, validating for me. When I was fighting for disability, I sat before two judges. Once I was denied, and the second, and that was traumatic in and of itself, remembering all those times when I was gaslighted by doctors and disregarded and said that there was nothing wrong with me when my physical body was quite literally dying. Last month, I sat before another judge in appeal and spoke my truth and shared my story, and there was no trauma associated with it. I was calm, I was balanced, I was at peace. And I walked out of that room, and my attorney said to me, "You just won your case." And in fact, I did. And that's what I'm talking. I shared that story to tell you guys that's what I'm talking about here. Look back at your own life. Look back at and Divine Masculines too, Divine Feminines too. Look back at how far you have come on this journey. You should be so damn proud of yourself. I know I'm proud of you. I know I'm proud of myself. I know Spirit is proud of you. You should be so damn proud of the transformation you have undergone. This is ascension. This is what ascension means. This means letting go of the past. Not that you don't remember it, but that you don't attach to it. You carry the experience with you. So you carry the lessons with you. You carry the guidance with you. You carry the memory with you, but you're not attached to it. You're not living with it. You're not clinging to it. That's not part of you anymore. It's something that you went through. It's not something you're going through. It's something that you experienced. It's not something that you're carrying forth in your new experience. You have shut the door on that past, and now you are moving into a bolder and brighter future. That's Divine Masculine here. That's Divine Masculine here, where they are on their knees, exhausted from clinging to that past, and ready and willing to move onward with this Six of Swords energy. Ready to move onward towards that next chapter with this, so much energy in this card, with this World card, just ready to move on. Ready to move on to the next chapter of their life. Ready to move on to union within themselves, peace and harmony and balance within themselves, and peace and harmony and balance within this connection, within this love. And I love, they just pointed me to this, I love how the Two of Cups is right under my union card. My world is turning upside down. Yeah, it sure is. It sure is. And it feels like their world is turning upside down because it is. Because they are letting go of all that old toxicity. They're letting go of the old version of themselves, shedding the old version of themselves in order to move into the new, in order to move into the best and highest timeline, their best and highest good, in order to move into the soul of themselves, in order to move into a new chapter. Let's get one more, Spirit. This is that storm. It feels like the storm is whirling around them and kind of the wind is taking them with it. But what I'm actually hearing is they're anchored in this love. They're feeling their love from the Divine Feminine, which is helping them feel a little bit more grounded than they would have been in the past. But even so, their world is still turning a little bit upside down. So it's difficult for Divine Masculines. Compassion and love, Divine Feminines. But you can still maintain your boundaries through that compassion and that love. Okay. And we have, I miss you, and I'm making my way back to you. It's like they are, I'm going to take this one too. I'm awakening to what this love really means, and your love gives me strength. Beautiful. I'm going to stop there. Yeah, they're making their way back to you. It's like I'm seeing a Divine Masculine, like with their arm over their eyes, kind of bracing themselves against the wind. The wind is coming at them. They're bracing themselves against the wind, moving forward towards any obstacles, overcoming any obstacles, any storm, because I know that on the other side of that storm is you. Is this love? Is this next chapter of their life and this connection? They're making their way back to you. All right, you guys, that is going to be it for today's energy update. I'm sending you all so much love, so much light. We'll be back next week, and I'll see you then. Bye.